Right now, the situation in Iran is on a razor's edge. We're going to cut through the noise and look at this from three critical angles: the official story coming out of Tehran, the very sharp response from the international community, and the grim reality for people on the ground who are caught in the middle of a nationwide internet blackout. Let's get right into it.
So let's start with this really powerful accusation from Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. He's essentially claiming that the violence we're seeing in these nationwide protests isn't random at all. He says it's been deliberately engineered to give the United States a reason and excuse to intervene militarily. And right there, that one quote just frames this entire crisis as a geopolitical chess match where the stakes could not be higher.
So, okay, with that accusation of foreign meddling on the table, how is the Iranian government actually building this story for its own people and for the rest of the world? Let's break down their official version of what's been happening.
Here's the step-by-step from Tehran's point of view. Foreign Minister Araghchi alleges that the violence was intentionally ramped up by what he calls foreign elements. He claims they even have footage of weapons being handed out to protesters, and that, soon, confessions from people they've detained will prove this whole conspiracy. And then, the final crucial message they want to send is one of stability. They insist the situation is now under total control. And make no mistake, this isn't just one minister speaking out of turn. This is a unified message. You've got the Iranian president, Masoud Pezeshkian, pointing the finger directly at the U.S. and Israel, accusing them of ordering riots just to sow chaos and disorder. The distinction they're trying to make here is really important to them. They say, look, peaceful economic protest is one thing, but they're drawing a very hard line, labeling any and all violence as foreign-directed riot.
All right, so that's Tehran's side of the story. Now, let's flip the coin and look at how the other side of this standoff is reacting. As Iran points fingers outward, Washington is firing back with its own series of pretty stark warnings.
And here it is, the direct response from then-President Donald Trump. The language here is anything but vague. Very strong options. Well, that's widely understood in diplomatic circles to mean one thing: military intervention is on the table. This isn't just political posturing, it's a direct threat that really does push the whole region much closer to the brink.
And this slide just perfectly illustrates the dangerous feedback loop that we're seeing. On one side, you have the U.S. talking about its very strong options, and on the other, you have Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammad Bakr Kalibaf, issuing a really chilling counter-threat. He's saying that if there's an attack, all U.S. bases in the region and Israel itself will become legitimate targets. This is the language of brinkmanship, plain and simple.
But okay, beyond this war of words between governments, what is actually happening inside Iran? What's the reality for people there? With information being so tightly controlled, getting a clear picture is, incredibly difficult.
This number, it says so much. 84 hours. That's how long the connectivity watchdog NetBlocks said Iran was in a near-total national internet blackout. And we're not just talking about slow speeds here. This is a near-complete shutdown, effectively cutting the country off from the rest of the world and cutting citizens off from each other. So why do it? Why shut down the internet? Well, if you ask human rights groups like Amnesty International, the motive is chillingly clear. They call it a deliberate tactic, a way to hide violations in escalating deadly crackdowns on protesters. Basically, if you cut off the flow of information, it becomes almost impossible for anyone, inside or out, to see and verify what's really happening on the streets.
And this right here is the direct result of that information blackout. You get these completely conflicting reports on the human cost of the violence. The semi-official Tasnim news agency says 109 members of the security forces have been killed. Meanwhile, opposition activists are reporting that dozens of protesters have lost their lives. But Iranian authorities haven't confirmed that number. The true toll is just lost in this fog of competing claims.
So let's just pull all these threads together for a second. What we have is a government in Tehran that's blaming its internal crises on external enemies. We have a U.S. administration that's openly threatening to get involved. And caught right in the middle of it all are the Iranian people, who are facing a violent crackdown that is largely being hidden from the world's view. So with these incredibly powerful forces on what seems like a collision course, and with these competing stories making it nearly impossible to know what the truth is, the path forward is dangerously unclear. Will it be dialogue that wins the day, or will it be a devastating conflict? Right now, that is a question nobody can answer for sure.